New year, new Pierre? I think so. Welcome back to the Freedom Pines podcast. I'm your host, Jamie A.B. This is where we debrief and discuss pop culture and politics from an independent perspective. And if that interests you, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share this with your friends because it's hard to get my name out in Commie Canada. Let's get into it. So, quite frankly, PierrePoilievre killed it at the press gallery this weekend, okay? He goes up after the guy that mocks him on This Hour Has 22 Minutes, and the interaction between him and Pierre is so funny, where they put on the glasses, take them off, and then grab the apple and just stare at each other. I'm with the pleb on this one, okay? I used to watch pleb every day when he was on every day. Now he's taken a bit of a hiatus, but I have to agree with pleb on this. Pierre is funny. Pierre is funny, okay? I have always really liked Pierre since, and you know who I like now? Andrew Lawton and Michael Cooper. And you know why? Because nothing really makes me happier than watching our government officials do their actual job, okay? So when I would watch PierrePoilievre say nobody believes you to Justin Trudeau, it was like music to my freaking ears, guys. And I'm thinking that this was a push from Stephen Outhouse. However, I will defend Jenny Byrne on this one because the press gallery is that place where Justin Trudeau literally said that
of course, supply chain snarls and global inflation are hitting people hard. So we apologize if the meat was tough tonight or if you chip a tooth on a bread roll. But I swear we will eventually have a dental plan for you at some point.
Which, by the way, one time I got a huge strike on my account on TikTok because I posted that video. And it's a real video. That's him making jokes. But at the time, those jokes were not funny. I still don't think they're that funny at all. Actually, I just am very glad that I don't have to stare at Justin Trudeau's face every day. So it makes it a lot easier to watch. And might I point out how different the vibes are at the one Justin Trudeau when Justin Trudeau was in, because I think that speaks to the age of our prime minister. It was in the dark for Justin Trudeau, and it looked like they were in a community center with all of the lights on for MarkCarney and this year's press gallery. And notice how when PierrePoilievre was telling the jokes, we weren't the butt of them. Notice how when PierrePoilievre was up there, he made fun of all of them for being elitists. That was my favorite part, to be honest. And by the way, that clip right there shows me, like, I would have been mad if PierrePoilievre was there. If PierrePoilievre was at the thing that Justin Trudeau was at, I would have a completely different viewpoint of PierrePoilievre. Even PierrePoilievre getting up there being like, I can't wait till I'm prime minister so that I don't have to come back to this thing, gives me so much relief that we have a prime minister, that we would have a potential prime minister. He isn't there to do anything other than serve Canada, and the fact that we could have a potential prime minister that would actually want to make Canada a better place rather than just using it to siphon what it can out of the citizens there, that would be great. So overall, this was a huge win for Pierre. You know, even leftists had to admit that he was funny, and I think it was a great time to finally do the press gallery because we have a new prime minister, and it's very fresh, and MarkCarney isn't as arrogant. Actually, I don't even know. MarkCarney and Trudeau are arrogant in their own ways. I don't know what it is about Justin Trudeau that made me really not like him, but I didn't like him from the beginning. Even when I was a leftist, I did not like Justin Trudeau whatsoever. And I don't mind MarkCarney. It doesn't mean that I like him. It's just I don't get physically ill when I hear MarkCarney speak the way that I get physically ill when I heard Justin Trudeau speak. By the way, I also heard that MarkCarney didn't laugh. Now, I don't know if that's just a rumor or not true, but MarkCarney was probably, I could only imagine one reason why MarkCarney wasn't laughing during PierrePoilievre's little press gallery speech, and that is because he knew that Pierre knocked it out of the park, and this would be talked about online. I think that would be the only reason why he wouldn't laugh, because MarkCarney seems like he would find something like that funny, just because I've heard him even say that PierrePoilievre's a hard worker. What did he say? PierrePoilievre's a hard worker, loves his family, and has good hair. So I know that he can, make jokes like that. And I seen an interview that he did with the This Hour As 22 Minutes guy right when he first got in, and they were making jokes about Pierre then too. So do I think that Justin Trudeau would sit there with a blank look on his face like what I'm seeing MarkCarney did? Yes, because I think he would be like, oh my, I think it was so lucky that Justin Trudeau didn't have to go face to face with PierrePoilievre, because Justin Trudeau would have lost to PierrePoilievre, and it would have unimaginably hurt his ego. And I would have, guys, whatever timeline, I don't want to jump timelines or anything, but whatever timeline where Pierre and Justin Trudeau got to go face to face, like I would have paid money to go watch Justin Trudeau lose. It would have been free, but I would have literally went and watched, rather than Pierre winning, I would have went and watched Trudeau lose. So, and watching the Liberals and the left try to defend the fact that Stephen Guilbeault is quitting over the weekend, I'm truly convinced that it's bought, because I have 98% of the left-leaning content that has showed me that people are not happy with MarkCarney and his stance on climate change and how he's backtracking and all of those different things. And the majority of the people who are actually using their voices and not just comments in people's random people's videos are actually standing up for Stephen Guilbeault and throwing MarkCarney under the bus. This is why it is so incredibly important that the NDP gets a strong candidate leader in there, because they will not be forgotten in the next election. Hopefully the Liberals will be the ones forgotten in the next election. And don't you guys worry, because they have a Mamdani type of person that is running for the NDP right now, and he seems to be cherished by the NDP voters. By the way, I just have to point this out. I don't remember if I did last week, but all of these people, Chrystia Freeland, Melanie Joly, Stephen Guilbeault, they all ran knowing that we had to push these major projects through. They all acted like they were Team Canada, and half of those people are literally not even staying in Canada after they're done serving it. After they're done collecting a pretty retirement that they're going to be able to access for the rest of their lives off of the taxpayers' backs. And the video is going to be a little bit shorter today because I went grocery shopping this morning. I was snowed in on Friday, as you guys know, and then I went to North Bay on Saturday. What an absolute nightmare that was. And so I didn't get to go grocery shopping. So today I had to go grocery shopping. So it's around 1:30 right now. And I have to get dinner going and clean the house and put all the groceries away and all of that fun stuff. So if the video seems short today, that's why. However, on the end of this video, I wanted to talk about how incredibly scary it is to be raising a time where people are no longer denying the existence and the things that Mr. Epstane did. And yesterday, my daughter asked me who this man was. Yesterday, my daughter had to learn the term blackmail. It's kind of crazy raising a kid in a time where the world is so openly evil and not great. I also gotta say, I've known about this for the majority of my life now, especially that I'm 33 years old. I think I discovered the Illuminati when I was very, 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 very young. I had unfettered access to computers, and I was a conspiracy theorist kind of gal even when I was younger. And I've known about the horrors of the world for a very long time, but it is so unbelievable. And people are like, well, what is your daughter watching online? Do you know how many memes there are about Jeffrey Epstein? Do you guys understand that it is on the news every single night? It is just a mainstream topic now. And I'm sorry, it really upsets me that I didn't like that we were living in the dark for so long, but I also really hate that all of the things that, could have been potentially not true have ended up being very much actually happening, and having to grasp the fact that our world is so evil. I remember sitting there when Sandy Hook happened, and I was very pregnant with my daughter, and thinking to myself, the world is going to change. And it did. It very much did. I remember thinking the same thing March of 2020 when we were told that we were going to be off for an extra 2 weeks after March break. I remember crying to my husband saying that I didn't think that anything was going to be the same after this, and he thought I was overreacting, and guess what? I wasn't. And so if you guys would ever be interested in hearing how I parent through this and have to use so much discernment, like the other day, oh yeah, just another warning for parents out there. There was corn on my Spotify. Okay, you can monitor your children and what they're doing so much. This was me opening up my Spotify, and on one of the playlists someone had made, it was a video of them doing something to a doll, a Barbie doll. I reported it obviously immediately, but imagine if my daughter had my phone and she was opening up Spotify to put on a song in the car. Whatever they're doing to children these days is like, there is a spiritual, I know that not everybody that listens to me is Christian, but it truly feels like there's like a spiritual attack. I used to think that the church was a little bit overreactive when they would talk about things like this, and fast forward 10 years and all of it seems to be happening. It seems like everywhere you turn, no matter what you do, and trust me, it's incredibly hard to raise children in a time where you want them to be able to use technology, and you think that they should at least be able to do that, especially if you're like me and you're very involved in their lives and know what they're doing online. Those sorts of things can just pop up, and no matter how many settings that you have on, it'll just happen until they fix the problem. And it really sucks. It really sucks. Like, I would never regret having kids, but parenting in 2025 is truly something else. So if you guys want a video about that, I can do a video about that. However, I am going to get going and do my groceries and clean my house. And I want you guys to remember that you matter. You're here for a reason. May the odds be ever in your favor. And let's take a deep breath. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's been honestly a very crazy couple of days, and Christmas is very crazy. Let me know what you guys want to hear. I'm going to be making and putting out videos on the weekends since it's Vlogmas or whatever, and they reward you if you put out videos every single day. One of them is going to be me debunking Rachel Gilmore. Okay, and that's what I'm excited about, because anyways, you guys know. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.